That's right. Come in half in the shade, half in the sun. What side's the door on?
I'm in the back.
Okay.
Darn, they're coming here.
Which one is it?
Great.
Gray hat,
Oh.
we think.
Oh, they're not coming in here. They're going right to the house.
Yeah, well, we asked Andrew to get us out there because he's the back helicopter that we can't see.
Is he going to bring us
No, I
up?
think they're going right to the helicopter. They're not coming this way.
Andrew's running over to see.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take a shot outside.
Okay, behind us here there are harp seals and their babies, and we've come out here to discuss their fate. In about 3 weeks' time, these baby seals are due to be clubbed to death or shot in what's known as the seal hunt. For many years people have been trying to have this brutal practice stopped, but we are out here to see if we can lend our voice to this campaign and maybe get it stopped once and for all.
They're only about 3 or 4 days old, and they won't even get a chance to have a solid meal or even a swim. Imagine having a child, for all those that have, and having your baby bludgeoned to death in front of you with a wooden club for the sake of fashion and fur. We've talked about it, and there's no economic reason behind it. They rely on less than 5% of their annual income, and
You will hear that the reason is that the seal eat the cod and therefore deplete the supplies of cod in the area, therefore ruining the fishermen's living. But in actual fact, that isn't true. It is overfishing that has led to the demise of the cod, and these harp seals actually eat some of the predators of the cod, so they're part of a very delicate eco-balance. And
Even the Fisheries and Ocean Department have admitted that it's overfishing that's caused the problem and not the harp seals.
And one of the first things that we saw when we came out here yesterday in a newspaper was one of the fishermen, a 70-year-old fisherman, reported in the paper as saying, oh, these do-gooders, they come out here, they cuddle the seals, and they tell you they're beautiful. He said, well, they are beautiful. He said, and they'll come out here and they'll tell you that this is cruel, this practice is cruel. He said, well, it is cruel. This is one of the fishermen themselves. He said, it is cruel. He said, but we've been doing it for 500 years. Well, in our view, that doesn't make it justifiable. There are plenty of things that have been going on for a long time, like slavery, apartheid, and all these sort of practices. And
Children up chimneys.
in the old days,
People made money from that one.
and just because they've been going a long time doesn't mean that they should continue to go on. So we're out here on the ice floes in Newfoundland trying to call upon the Canadian people, the Canadian Prime Minister Steve Harper and his government to consider putting an end once and for all to the seal hunt.
Sadly, we won't be able to stop these beautiful baby seals around us being bludgeoned to death in the next few weeks. But hopefully we all join together and put pressure on the Canadian government to do what is just humane and stop this seal hunt. Hopefully this would be the last seal hunt.
Paul, you said last year that you wouldn't play China again after you've seen some videos there showing their rights for wild animals. Would you play in Canada now, knowing what you do about the seal hunt?
Yeah, well, I play in Canada regularly, and I have a lot of respect for the Canadian people, and the Canadian people have been polled and asked what they think of the seal hunt, and the majority of the Canadian people are opposed to it. So it's not their fault. This is just an old tradition that's gone on for a long time, and it's time it stopped.
And how does it make you feel today to be out here seeing the seals so beautiful?
Well, this is the first time we've ever been here. Like most people, we've seen this on film, on television, but to actually be out here in the natural habitat of the harp seals and to see these beautiful animals, and particularly the baby seals, helpless, and as Heather said, they are helpless. They haven't even had a swim yet, so they can't get away. To see them really brings it home that this is a protest that's been going on for many, many years now, and that all the facts lead to only one conclusion, that it's time it was stopped.
There's a huge loophole in the EU situation because obviously the fishermen made a living when the hunting went right down from 83 to 96. So the problem with the EU loophole is that they've said that you can't import baby white seal skins. Well, they lose their skins, before they're even a month old, and we still import into Europe seals, baby seal skins, and for fashion, for fur, and that's what's so horrific about it.
What about in the UK? You're going to put pressure on the UK government to make sure they...
Well, yeah, we would like to put pressure on UK and the EU, really, to just encourage them to stop importing these furs, because here are the animals right behind us living. And another point also is that this is one of the greatest wildlife spectacles on earth. People have seen the film The March of the Penguins. People love that. It's very rare that you can come to beautiful wild places like this and witness such a magnificent spectacle. And it probably, in our view, would make more sense to look at ecotourism and do what's happened, for instance, in whale watching. There was a time not that long ago when whales were just being killed and nobody even considered whale watching. Now it's a huge industry, and And the people who used to kill the whales now benefit from tourists going to see the whales. So we believe that there's something like that could be done here to help the economics of the local people, which we don't want to take their living off them, but it could just change in the same way that whale watching has changed and allow these beautiful animals to survive.
Just don't buy seal skin for anything. You know, if you watch these protectseals.org, go online and look at the horrors of what happens every time you buy, a sealskin fur. You're contributing to this slaughter, this brutal, cruel slaughter. That's what you're doing without even realising it most of the time.
And here they are, right behind us, as we speak. These little baby seals, and we want to save them. Please help us. Am I shouting too much?
Can I do one?
License to China.
Yeah.
Excuse me. How do you feel your presence here will make a difference? I mean, there's lots of logical arguments, but I think you being here is more. This is more than a logical argument. This is almost an emotional plea, isn't it?
Well, I think, the people have been watching this issue for over 40 years now, and it is an emotional issue because the clubbing to death of beautiful animals like this is bound to be an emotional issue. We've come out from UK to lend our voice to the seals and to the campaign to stop the hunt, and to also look for ourselves firsthand at what is going on and talk to people on both sides of the argument, so we just don't get a single sided view of the matter. And
even the hunters want to get the government to give them the retirement.
yeah, I think the hunters
Plan.
themselves would be happy to take part in a licensed retirement plan. But we're just hoping that our presence here will focus up the issue once and for all. There have been a lot of good people who've tried to save these seals. The vast majority of the Canadian people want to see this seal hunt stopped. So we hope that our presence here will really help and will see an end to this brutal practice.
You have something you would like to say to our Prime Minister?
Yeah, we would like to say to Mr. Harper, the Canadian Prime Minister, that perhaps now this is time this old tradition was stopped. You can look at examples, for instance, like whale watching, where this has turned around into an eco-tourist thing, which has now become a very successful matter, where people come from all over the world, and we believe that this is a situation here where that could happen, and that would then help the local economics, which everyone should consider, but it also means that this fantastic wildlife spectacle here will be there for future generations to enjoy. So we call on Steve Harper and his government and the Canadian people to please help us stop this seal hunt.
Canada were incredibly innovative in the Ottawa Treaty with the mine ban treaty, and now we have 151 countries around the world. You've done incredible stuff to stop maiming and killing and war and devastation, and yet this is going on in your own country, and it's something that you can do something about that is so realistically possible. So really be proud of what you've achieved in the past, and Steve Harper, try and do that as a new Prime Minister as a great legacy for the future.
The vast majority of the Canadian people believe that the seal hunt should be stopped. Surely it's time to listen to them.
Thank you. All right.
Can we move over and have a look at some of the seals now?
Okay.
This one's a little toughy, and I don't blame him.
No.
He wants to see the seal hunt stop. You're a little tough guy. It's good to see. You'll need all that courage.
Have they got any teeth
They're
or
not
not?
used to people. Very little tiny teeth.
Oh, so they can't bite me.
No, I mean it's good to just sort of allow them to kind of get habituated here. You know, mostly
Are you
they're
coming
wondering
for a cuddle?
mostly they're wondering if you might be a source of milk. So,
Well, I've got a good pair of boobies.
Please help us save this baby harp seal.
Yes.
He's
You
talking
agree,
to
don't
you.
you? You agree? You don't want anyone to hurt you, do you? Hey?
Whether our campaign is successful or not, he and thousands like him, the next 3 weeks are going to be brutally killed.